This is the worst Lumion Legacy Draft League I will ever play in. Right now I'm in the GG Inc., a Pokemon Draft League, and I feel cool. And then I join this league and I start feeling, okay, what am I doing? So, first off, for anyone with any Draft League knowledge, you might be surprised that Faraglyph, Mymask, and Odoyaga are all only 8 points. And also the max is 13, which is a number I haven't seen before. I know the Nightmare League, somewhere, is doing 13 points max. Is it in pins? No, it's not. It's in they're doing 10 points max, and most Pokemon leagues I see are 19 or 20 points max. The one I joined had 20 points, which I think was pretty cool. It's a pretty old video, but I think it was a great video. I loved the Draft League back then when I joined. I think my team was great. And also, our max Lumions was also very low. We only had 55, which is a terribly low number. We only ended up with about 7 Lumions each. Now, my goal with this league was to abuse this terrible list. This list was made by Lord Maxim, Hibernite, Sceptile, and someone else. I think Freak, Terrestrial Freak. And let me just say, none of them have Draft League experience. So this is more so an OU list than a Draft League list. Except Copper Rage and Boonery are up there. So things like, let me see. Lumions like Sorber's Icicle, I would personally ban in Draft. And then Lumions like Jetwing Stratosaur, maybe a little lower. Actually, nah, I can stay there. But Colossal Chops is definitely not a 13-point Lumion. I can critique this list all day if I want to. Almost everything can be critiqued if it's up to me. Like, goodness gracious. Obsidian is way too high as well. But this is just a friends league. We'll use the awful list. So my goal was to abuse the awful list as much as I could. So I drafted 2 of the 3 broken Lumions. Now, Faraglyph is the most broken of the 3, but I'm not sure if I'd be able to fully utilize it to its full potential in this league. Maybe I would. Also, this is the order we drafted in: Cheese, Freak, Hyber, Blizzard, AR, Kale, Terrazo, Maxim, Sceptile, Veils, Sceptile, etc. Snake draft, typical draft stuff. If I had to say whose draft was the best, by the way, I would vote Veils as the best. The only other person in this league with draft experience at all is Veils. And Veils drafted a pretty standard stuff. Although it does mean he's bringing Pro Pay every week. Pro Pay is okay for him. Gives him a little another Earth Resist, as if Luminami wasn't technically an Earth Resist in its own right. My draft, you can notice, it's pretty interesting. Odoyaga, Mymask, Celestine Round Tree, Wintrix, Hoganash, Rancidor, Chartiki, Pronsu, and Hydrolin. Now, I hate Hydrolin, but I wanted a free Lumion. Now, I do regret taking Pronsu. As much as I love Pronsu, it was a mistake getting it if I was going to get Hydrolin anyways. I just needed to take a good round 7. And I think Gargolem Base would have been a lot better. Something like Gargolem Base or Behemoth. I'm not much of a Behemoth guy. I would have drafted it if I was, because it's pretty well priced, 7. I also could have drafted Wendelin, for example, who could help me with the speed tiers. I was focusing heavily on the draft fundamentals. I wanted barbs, I wanted pivot, I wanted type coverage. Now, I'm just going to explain all of my picks first before I dive into everyone else's picks. Odoyaga, I'm not glazing it. It's genuinely normally it's a banned Lumion in the Nightmare League. For a reason. It's too diverse. My mask is definitely like a first pick worthy Lumion. It's not bad. I don't think it's ban worthy, but it's a first pick worthy one. Celestine's job was mostly because of what it provided. Again, I wanted to abuse the list, and Celestine, for all its bad attributes, it's only 6 points. And in a draft league, Celestine is a little bit better because of how diverse it is. It got barbs and icicle traps and pivot and light speed ray. I think Celestine, like for example, against Veils, Celestine is really good. Obviously, he's going to prep hard for it. Veils is cooking for everyone, by the way. Veils, I predict, is going to win this league. I have more draft experience than him, I think, but he definitely is a better player than me. So Celestine, also he has LFH, and I cannot beat an LFH. Just straight up. Oh, by the way, I wanted to draft Phage Knot, but Freak sniped it from me. So unfortunately, I did not get Phage Knot round 3. I got Celesting, which I'm kind of okay with. Wintrix. Now, I didn't draft Wintrix because I wanted it. I drafted it so no one else could have it. I want Wintrix because chill Wintrix into Odoyaga is devastating. Now, I do have Celesting, and I could have drafted Mirafe as well, which I'm pretty good at using, and I think is amazing in draft. But I didn't, because I wanted to take the Wintrix. Plus, Wintrix is a great Lumion in its own right. And I think, how much was it? 8 points? 8 points. 8 points is pretty well priced, not bad. Hoganash I drafted because it was a really weird pick. I was debating, it's only 5 points. And it's definitely the best 5-pointer there besides Icicle. And maybe Lamperts. Lamperts is actually a good Lumion. Hoganash I took because it gave me hazard removal. Celesting is Teardown. Hoganash, it does that. It's bulky. It's a good 1v. It's a good Lumion to 1v1 other random Lumions. Like, I can go up against a Mirafe or something. I just appreciate the fire typing as well. Rancidor was taken because I wanted an ancient type. My team was pretty weak to Ancient. And also got devastated by electric moves. Like, look at it. So I added Rancidor, and later you'll see Chartiki. I took Rancidor. It was between Rancidor and Knockout. I took Rancidor for the speed tier. Now, it's the exact same speed as my mask. But I do value speed. I do. It might be a mistake not taking Knockout instead of Rancidor, but hey. Chartiki. I did not want to draft Chartiki. Chartiki is not a fun Lumion in draft. It's kind of boring. It's lame. But if I look at Veils' team with his Elephage or Freak's team with his Phage Knot, I'm not going to have a fun time. I'm really lucky that Chartiki or something was still available. Like, Sceptile took Festifer from free picks. By the way, why the hell do we have free picks? Free picks aren't a thing in draft leagues. What the hell? Now, Pronsu I took because I had literally no time yesterday. It was nighttime. I was really looking at Banfino, by the way, but I didn't want to be called a glazer, so I didn't take Banfino. Banfino is okay, but I took Pronsu. Pronsu's also okay, but I kind of regret not taking something else in the 7-point. Again, we've already gone over this. And Hydralin. I took it because it was by far the best free pick left, mostly because a lot of the other free picks were taken. If it were up to me, the free pick I would take would be Weaselin, which I actually drafted in the league I went to last time. Weaselin was pretty cheap. I think Weaselin's a great Lumion in draft. I don't know why it was free. I'll take Weaselin. It was only 5 points, which I think is a little fair. But I think Weaselin. I just like Weaselin. Other than Weaselin, I would have taken Festifer. Amphaton was available, but I don't have an Amphaton, and I'm not using Amphaton either. I don't want to use Amphaton. So there we go. This is my draft. Now, I did say Veils was probably the best. Now, I'm a little bit biased, but I think Freak and his first pick, Charkiln, is the second best. It's definitely a little biased. It has so much type overlap. Such a random hodgepodge, but I think the hodgepodge works well. Another good draft is Hyber with, Okay, actually, Hyber's draft is weird. It's pretty slow and bulky, which can work, but usually in draft you want a bit of everything. It is one thing Hyber doesn't have though, it's hazards, so that's something. She has a lot of hazard removal though, like quite a bit. Blizzard has I'm sorry, Blizzard does not have a good draft. If he wins, it's gonna be just because of raw power of Heat Wave, not because his draft is good. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, Cheese. We start off with free because we were talking, but let's go to Cheese's draft. Cheese was not around for a lot of it. He kept going offline, and we had to keep skipping him because we had to wait 20 whole minutes for him because he was in class. So even with that, he still got a great draft in my opinion. I believe he still has one more pick though. I believe. As of now, though, I think it's okay. The synergy is a little lacking. For example, nothing really cares about Yorsnak's Maffle. Yorsnak round 1 is an interesting one, by the way. Let's move on to AR. Now, AR is in the Pokemon Draft League with us. Just gonna say, AR has never played Pokemon. I don't know why he's in this, but hey, we'll carry him. Gargoyle attack. Now, he's a Barbadger. I'm a little disappointed in him. Because Barbander is 12 points in a draft league. Disgusting. But hey, whatever. He'll take it. He took Gandervale because he loves Gandervale. Moriel and Phoenix. I think, other than Gandervale, this is a pretty good draft team. Now, Gargolem attack is just going to be better than Gandervale, but hey. Kale is another one of the worst ones. Terrafly and Sumobito are overlapping. His first two picks were similar speed dark types. Why? In a draft league, you want to focus on speed tiers and type diversity, mostly. And also prioritize specific types, but I'm not sure which one to prioritize in the Mean Legacy. Maybe Dark is one you want. Maybe Fire, because Icicle Traps. Either way, Sober's Dakida third was pretty good, but in Ikazune, to double up on even more types and a similar speed tier to Vesperado, it's just... Oh my god, it hurts my draft brain. Then there's mine. Mine looks really stupid. Maxim has one of the funniest drafts. His later picks are great, though. His later picks are great. But Tsukame round 1, Lashent round 2, which, that's completely fine. And Harva round 3, which is also completely fine. And then Wiki Wiki round 4, the troll. These are very slow. They stack up on weaknesses. And they don't really synergize well. Now, thankfully, he does solve this in his last few picks. Zulong, Stratosaur, and Mirave. Those are amazing. Now, he's still doubling up on a lot of types. For example, as good as Mirave is, I don't like its inclusion here. 2 spirit types, 2 metal types. And then there's 2... Okay, I thought there were 3 plant types. There's only 2 plant types, but like, there's a lot of toxic weaknesses. Toxic is really good into his team. He has Harva as his resist. Yeah, Harva, a Lumion that can definitely heal. Dimpire, I think, is okay. It's a free Lumion. It's whatever. It's whatever. Sceptile just took his original team, and I'm gonna say, mid. I do like the inclusion of Festifer here, though. I think that's actually a good free for him. And finally, Veils, like I said, probably has the best one, just because it's really consistent. Again, it's lame as hell. Like, super... He said he was grabbing heat. I don't know where the heat is. Probate was a free. That doesn't count. I don't know where the heat is. This is a lame draft. But it's... whatever. So yeah, this is by far the worst draft league I'll ever play. But hey, it's a friends draft league. We're probably gonna have fun. Although I will be tryharding. Me and Veils are gonna be tryharding a lot.